Paranormal activities are something that happens every day around the globe, and today, we've brought you some of the most horrifying videos of all time. Without wasting your time, let's get started. Jacob is the owner of the Clown Doll 5 TikTok page. He discovers late one night why Jacob doesn't feel comfortable living in the ancient house that his grandmother left him, which has some unsettling old dolls. Jacob acquired the home from his grandmother. Suddenly, a really odd sound wakes him up from his bedroom sleep. He then starts recording on his phone, which he managed to get. Jacob hears hammering coming from the closet, but when he opens it, he discovers nothing. Shortly after that, he hears more banging coming from the opposite side of the door. He is suddenly overtaken with dread and bolts out the side door, but the most unsettling aspect became apparent when he watched the footage again. The clown door is facing directly towards the bed when Jacob awakens, and from his sleep. However, as soon as he exits the closet, we can see it peering directly at him from the side. Since that day, Jacob has kept his doll downstairs, away from his bedroom. I need clarification, however, why you would have a spooky doll peering at your bed in the first place. In this clip, you can see two ghost hunters who have just encountered a ghost. They were in a haunted house hoping to find something that would intrigue their mind and finally found it. You can see that the cups and plates fall to the ground, but there's actually no one throwing them. At first, a cup falls on the ground and they check for readings on their device, but they needed to see reading on it. Then, you see a plate fly up in the air and falling back on the ground. Then suddenly, the device starts picking up something. Then, the ghost hunter asks the spirit to show itself, and it suddenly throws a cup at him. Now, what was it? We have no idea. The following video was created by Giovanni, who is a user of the TikTok page. He claims that before recently moving into a new home with his fiancée, everything was proceeding as usual. However, now he is going through some pretty strange experiences, until one night when he was sleeping in the living room with his girlfriend and heard an odd noise, and after giving it some thought, he understood that it was something uncanny and impossible at the time, which made him feel uneasy. Out, he managed to capture this. He was startled awake by a strange voice, but when he focused on it, he discovered it was his girlfriend's voice coming from another room, even though he could clearly see her sleeping next to him. He was so terrified by this that he didn't go and look into it, since he found it difficult to understand why he was hearing this voice when she was asleep around the home. And one night, later he goes live to describe the scenario and record it. His room's door appears to open by itself. Giovanni also tells us how his health has started to deteriorate after hearing the voice in the hallway the other night, to the point that he had to be transported to the hospital. Even displays the tiny wristband they gave him. He does appear to be very pale, as we can see. Sadly, this is not the last of it, because he receives another call while still awake. The previous female voice is audible once more. He appears to draw Giovanni to the door at the end of the passageway. This time, however, just as he approaches and turns around, we hear footsteps charging directly in his direction from the opposite side. The video abruptly ends as he exits through the side door in a hurry. The video was recently uploaded to his TikTok page, was the last one. What happened to this man and his girlfriend has left a lot of viewers wondering. Another person who had a similar experience was Andy Winehouse. He once heard his own voice calling him while he was alone at home. The previous female voice is audible once more, and he claims to have heard scratching and footfalls, which have gotten stronger every day, and have significantly worsened over time. On a different day, he manages to capture something truly horrifying. He knocks on the door repeatedly before opening it, only to discover that no one is there. It could have been the cat, simply a cat lazing around on the door. He claims that nothing similar to what is happening in this family's home has ever occurred prior to this recent time. He's since fled the house and is staying in a warehouse, saying something is watching him. He simply needs to move again and again. User Last Resort Help 111 on TikTok is managed by Matthew, someone who has had some unsettling paranormal activities within his home for several months. This began with frequent clicking and whispering sounds emanating from all over the house. Matthew eventually concluded that enough is enough, and starts to write about his experiences, hoping to receive the community's support and assistance. And after recording, he got this picture. Unusual whispers appear to be coming directly from Matthew's side, and things significantly worsened after he began recording and acknowledging its presence. By itself, the door bangs against him. He then enters the following room, where a shadowy figure can be seen looking over a corner, but things don't stop there. He starts to sob on video after being shocked by spontaneous whispers throughout every single day. On another night, as he was attempting to go to sleep, he felt odd and began recording to document how much this was harming his mental health. Eventually, he succeeds in seizing something that gives him goosebumps. He musters the courage to peek into the closet after the door opens by itself, but discovers nothing inside. Instead, he hears a whisper next to him. What do you think is happening here, then? The TikTok user Moradorus Nocturnos, an odd shadow figure, has surprised someone for more than 6 months. He claims that it all started when he had a few of his colleagues conducted an inquiry at 1 a.m. in a weird location with a lot of trees. He claims that after separating from the rest of his crew and moving ahead, a terrifying face suddenly emerged from behind one of the trees, straight gaze fixed on him. He was so horrified by the burned face that he ended up rushing home, and shortly after became ill. Since that night, he has occasionally noticed a black shadow figure strolling past his house's doors and down the hallway. While taping his son one night, something genuinely terrifying is captured. At the door, a spooky gray figure can be seen getting up before suddenly disappearing, and after looking around, he discovers nothing. Sadly, he has been experiencing this for some time, and it doesn't stop there. He again witnesses something chilling on a different night while spending time with his son. He returns to the spot where he first noticed the unsettling charred face hidden behind a tree. Not long after seeing the figure, he learned that someone had passed away on this weird, narrow road, and that a cemetery was located there as well. We all understand that parenting is a terrifying experience if your child sees something paranormal. In the following video, that is precisely what transpires. The young child reports to his mother that he spotted a monster using the restroom. Just try to picture what kind of youngster saw that cause to describe this being as a monster. The father then came to the decision to conduct a test using a device that could find the shadow person hiding behind the door. Another night, his son witnesses something even more spooky, which he was eager to share with his father when he got home. The next video is the most upsetting. A quick knock on the door will be heard at precisely 3 a.m. This would get the father to get up. He immediately pulled out his phone to record, and the footage is pure, unadulterated terror. The figure has appeared at the door once more distinct and complete than ever before this time, even slamming the door itself in the process, and the father hurries over to investigate but discovers nothing, and it is evident that the dog is seated on the wall. So, regrettably, it appears that this entity has succeeded in its mission by having him welcome it inside his house by opening the door to its direct knocking. It appears as if the situation will only worsen from here. So, if you think this was a real ghost captured on camera, let me know in the comments section. These are all the horrifying videos that I can find. Do let me know your views about it in the comments. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.